Hello, viewers. Welcome once again to lesson 1.7 of the ReactJS portfolio website development for teens. Today, we are going to be talking on the About and Skills components section. So, here are the learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you must be able to understand the following things. By the end of this lesson, you must be knowing on these things. You must be knowing on how to create about component, create skills component, display personal information professionally, store and display skills using arrays. Use the map method to render lists dynamically. So portfolio website is more than just a collection of projects. This does once know who you are, what you do, and what skills you bring to a team. So the about in the skills section helps to communicate your professional identity. About in skills section, they communicate for you. They communicate with the potential recruiters for you. It is the one which helps the potential recruiters to consider you or to reject you. So you will need to understand, you need to create it in a professional way, in a way that is attractive, and in a way that attracts everyone. So the about section, it speaks about who you are. It speaks about what you are learning, what career goals you have, and what motivates you as a developer. This is what the about components talks about. So here we want to start creating the our first file, which is the about JSX. So we're going to demonstrate on how to create the about section. Because this about section, it is the one which talks about who you are. It is the one which displays every information about yourself. So this about section, uh, you can take for example, it will say I'm an aspiring front-end developer passionate about creating modern and user-friendly applications. So this is a typical example of an about section. So you need to understand. So our portfolio before we had this is what we had before we edited. We don't have the about section, only have the notification bar and the video section. So we have updated our project. So we have updated our portfolio. It shares this now. So you can see it says, "Oh, my name is so it describes who you are." So the about me here is about me. Who am I? What drives me? You see, it talks about who who am I and what drives me. So here I'm a friend and after creating what and what am I learning? I'm deepening my skills in React, TypeScript, and modern CSS. Career goals. What are my goals in future? and what motivates me. So let's go back to the code. So we can see what if. So let's open the about JS file. So each and every time I know that after creating the file, you will need to export it so that it can be imported or somewhere else in future for future use. Because if you don't export it, it won't be seen. So here is the about section uh on the return and it is wrapped. So there's this section label about me. Yeah, who am I and what tells about me. And this is the explanation of who am I or who is Alfred Makura on the here that we are creating. And also we come to the about create what I am learning. Because as you have seen uh, what I'm learning, the career goals, what motivates me, they are in creed. So this is the creed. And also after completing creating this, uh, don't forget to import it on the about.js, on the about.js file, because that's where it is rendered, the website, the browser. So here is the about section. It is imported from component about. So the component is the file, is the folder where our about is located. Because remember, the about section is the component. So that's that is all about the about section. So next, let's go to the skills section. Before we talk about the skills, we just need to know why the about section matters. Or we once talked about it. The recruiters often want to understand your interests, your goals, your personality, and your communication skills. So a strong about section helps establish trust and professionalism. So now let's create a skills section. So our skills section, we must create it in array using the map. Uh, we must display skills dynamically because if we don't display them dynamically, the skills they are the ones which speaks to the employers what you are capable of doing. It is the one which speaks what you can do. So if you don't display your skills, it becomes riskier because you won't be able, players won't be able to understand what you are capable of doing and what you are not capable of doing. Right. So you will need to so the employers will need to tell them what they are capable of so that they, upon their consideration, they will see if it's worth it employing you or not, if it's worth it considering you or not. Because if you don't display your capabilities to them, they might see it's not necessary to consider you because they think what they want from you, you are not capable creating it. So this is the next section. We are going to create the skills section. What you are capable of doing. So here is the skills section. The technologies I work with JavaScript, CSS, TypeScript, responsive design, user principles. So they will understand the kind of a person they are working with. So let's just go to let's just go to our Visual Studio Code and see. So here is the about section. Here is a skills section. We are talking about the skills CSS. Remember, it's a component as well. We find it in the component section. So the skills here, there's the level. Oh, so on the level here, React Advanced, JavaScript Advanced, CSS stay with intermediate, TypeScript learning, responsive design advanced, uh, UI UX principles intermediate, function skills. So technologies I work with. This is the about. After that, it has been exported and it was imported on app JSX. So you can see now here we are. That's how the skill section is. So next want to talk about the dot map. Uh, the method dot map loops through an array. It loops through an array and creates new element for each item. Examples queue read displays each other automatically. Why use arrays? We use arrays HTML, UI, HTML, CSS, JavaScript with array skills that make this is easier to manage and update. It is accessible. Uses semantic HTML instead of placing skills random inside random div elements. Screen readers understand this more effectively as compared to understand instead of understanding randomly. They screen readers understand this more effectively. So that's all about the skills in the about section. So they just go and create and add 6 technical skills, 2 soft skills, 1 feature skill you want to learn in the on and the about on the about component. So that's the end of today's lesson. We are going to meet on the next lesson where we are going to be talking about the project and conduct components. So today we end here on the skills and about section. Go and practice more so that you can understand more. Thank you. See you on the next lesson.